Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I got this months ago, but here we are. Crested Geckos. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Kristin, the Zoologist, back at your service, putting out a YouTube video after months. I'm so sorry. You know when life just gets a hold of you and it just, but life decided right now for me to, lock myself in my room, and it's just a sign to force myself to do this video. I'm just kidding, it's not a sign, but what better way to become more productive than to actually start this series that I've been wanting to since last year. So I've wanted to do a series focusing on animal facts, just short videos, just so that we can share information more about the wildlife and nature around us on this planet. And I have decided to actually call it my Kritter Features, and I hope you guys tune in for the rest of this series. So to start, the very first animal I'm going to talk about is one that I hold very close and dear to my heart. It is Crested Geckos. Yeah, I got this as a prop, and we're just gonna roll with it for the rest of the video. Okay guys? Okay, now the reason why I hold this very close and dear to my heart is because I actually have a Crested Gecko. You guys have met her. Her name is Luna. Let me take her out real quick right now. This is Luna. She is my Crested Gecko. I've had her since she was 8 months old. So if you just focus on her, we can talk about how Crested Geckos get their name. Stop focusing on my camera. All right, okay, now she is showing her bum. So the reason why I actually named her Luna is because if you look at her tail, it's like when she was younger and smaller, it was mostly white, and I don't know, it just reminded me of the moon for some reason. I could have called her Banana, but Luna was the name that we chose. Now, the scientific name of Crested Geckos is ciliatus. They were formerly under the genus Rhacodactylus. However, they were deemed through phylogenetic analysis to be a completely different one. So that's why they were reclassified. Pretty fitting for them to have ciliatus as their species name because of its meaning in Latin, meaning fringes or eyelashes. Now, when you look at their body close up, let's focus right over there, you can see that the top of their head and also their eyes have these projections, which is why they are nicknamed eyelash geckos as well, and it actually extends all the way to the base of their tail, if you can see that. Other than that, their nicknames would just be eyelash geckos or also cresties. And now she's going up. I put Luna away so I can talk more about Crested Geckos. Crested Geckos are native to the southern part of New Caledonia, a country found between Fiji and Australia. They live in the rainforest and they spend a lot of time up in the trees, making them arboreal, which is another fancy term for tree dwellers. They are nocturnal, hunting in the nighttime and hiding in the branches and foliage during the daytime from their predators. So their diet is omnivorous. They would eat a variety of fruits and also insects. They can jump extremely well. Here's a clip of Luna jumping around. On the tip of their tail, as well as their toes, you can see that they are actually covered in small, fine hairs called setae. Now, this setae is actually even divided into smaller and smaller, finer hairs called spatulae. This feature actually allows them to climb most solid surfaces and allows them that extra grip that is very useful for their survival, especially living high up in the trees. They also have claws on their toes that allows them to have better grip on surfaces. Now let's talk about their tail. They can actually drop their tail, which is also known as caudal autotomy. They do this for defense. It stuns a predator, which can allow them to escape. An odd thing about Crested Geckos though is that they do not regrow their tail. To be honest, that puzzles me evolutionary wise because it just gives you one shot at escaping, because if you are lucky that one time, you won't really be lucky the next time because you won't have another tail to drop because it doesn't regrow. So what happens when they drop their tail is they end up with a nub that's been nicknamed as a frog's butt. In the pet trade, it's more preferable for most customers or clients to have one that has a tail just for aesthetical purposes. That's why they're actually priced lower when you look at frog butt Crested Geckos. The crested geckos are actually one of the larger species of geckos in the family, and they can grow up to 8 to 9 inches in total length, including their tail. They do reach sexual maturity at around 15 to 18 months of age, basically a year and a half old. If people are wondering if I'm going to breed Luna at some point, I'm not exactly sure. I travel quite a lot, and I don't know if I should add another animal to my collection and have to have people take care and find people to take care and have to find people to take care of her. A very impressive feature about crested geckos is that they actually do not have eyelids. Now they do have a protective casing, a spectacle covering their eye, but to remove any debris, they actually just lick it clean with their tongue, and also to add on to moisture. Can you imagine if you can do that? I'm not even gonna attempt it. Nope. I can't even lick my elbow. What makes me think I can lick my eye? I don't know. Like other reptiles, they do shed their skin, and it depends on their age on how frequent that shedding would happen. When they're younger, it happens more frequent. However, when they are full-grown adults, it can happen once every 1 to 2 months. It just depends. They would actually end up eating their skin just to reabsorb all the nutrients found there. I've seen Luna do it. So crested geckos were actually thought to be extinct, but were just rediscovered in the wild in 1994. And since then, they've been bred into captivity and have been very successful in the pet trade. However, their conservation status in the wild is still deemed to be vulnerable due to a couple of threats that they are experiencing. On top of habitat loss, they're also facing threats from invasive species, and one of them is actually called a little fire ant. Now these ants actually prey and sting the geckos in large numbers and can be very detrimental to their population in the wild. So little fire ants are actually native to Central and South America and are another good example of why invasive species are incredibly detrimental and destructive to an ecosystem, as was the case with crested geckos. Although crested geckos do extremely well in captivity and have done very well in the pet trade, they are now not legally allowed to be exported out of New Caledonia, as they have stopped issuing permits to protect the population in their habitat. Now all the crested geckos that can be found today in pet stores or pet expos, or the things that you can buy out here, are actually from the group of specimens that were brought over when permits were still legal and when scientists were still studying their line. In regard to the pet trade, they are considered an ideal beginner pet for those starting to get into reptile keeping. They are very easy to keep, and a lot of requirements are easily met. As a pet, it is a very important responsibility to know what you're getting yourself into, because their lifespan can be up to 15 to 20 years. They can come in a range of colors. There's creams, there's blacks, there's grays, there's reds, there's oranges, there's yellow. There's so many color combinations, and they have so many patterns that they are even discovering now as they're being bred into different more generations, and a combination of those patterns and those colors. It's insane. But thank you guys for tuning in this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye! Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Bye guys!